good morning, wherever you're watching. We are in Istanbul, Turkey. This is the Basketball Champions League regular season Group D game between Besiktas Sompo Japan and medi Bayreuth. Well, we're not at crunch time yet, but we are getting there sooner rather than later. Crunch time being you need to get some wins if you want to be in the playoffs. And right now, coming into this game, Besiktas sort of have revitalized themselves. Here you see Besiktas and medi Bayreuth in this group as well today. We've got Prometheus and SIG Strasbourg at home to Ostend and Petro Olympia respectively. And then tomorrow, Neptunus Klaipėda taking on perhaps, I don't know, the favorites at this stage, Segafredo Virtus Bologna. But Besiktas, the first two seasons, cruising right along in the regular season. Then when the playoffs have come around, they have faltered. This time they have struggled in the regular season, and they are 3-4. However, they have had a little bit of a recovery, and as you look at them right now at 3-4, they're right on the edge of that top four, right behind medi Bayreuth, who also are 3-4. So clearly you can see the significance of this game and to both of these teams. Besiktas won before the international break 2 games in a row, and even before that on November 7th, they lost at home to Segafredo Virtus Bologna 94-90. So, you know, it could be that we're seeing sort of an awakening of sorts from Besiktas. And if they were to get a win tonight against a very good medi Bayreuth team, well, that would be something boding well for their future. Raul Corner, one of the top coaches in the competition, in my opinion, and he's got quite a team. Hassan Martin, Andreas Seifert, Bastian Dorrit, David Stockton. It is a lineup that will come out and challenge any team on any given night. And it's also a lineup that could come out flat. So what are we going to see tonight from these guys? Well, they'll be going up against a team that should be playing with a sense of urgency in Besiktas. Phil Pressey, Erkan Veseloglu, Omer Al, Samet Gayek, Joe Alexander, Robin Benzing, Dusan Chantekin, Kyle Gibson, Ivan Bua, and Jason Rich play for Duško Ivanović. So we talked about the recent results for Besiktas, and recently, speaking of this medi Bayreuth team, right before the international break, they won on November 7th by 16 at home over Ostend. They hit the road and won at Petro Olympia by 9. And last week, the final week before the international break, they won 102-78 over Neptunus Klaipėda. So their 3 wins have just come, and you could almost argue that for both of these teams, the international break, when national teams got together and played in the European qualifiers and the World Cup qualifiers, it came at the wrong time for both of these teams. They were both finding a rhythm, and we'll see what kind of shape they come back and they play here. medi Bayreuth being introduced to the crowd, and a lot of these players actually did join their national teams, including 2 that just ran out, Bastian Dorrit as well as Andreas Seifert, playing for Germany. And there's Raul Corner, who has had some success in the Basketball Champions League already, making it to the playoffs last season in thrilling fashion. And now we're going to see the Besiktas players introduced here to the crowd. There's Phil Pressey, of course, end-to-end excitement when he's got the ball in his hands. He'll pass it, he'll shoot it, he'll score it. And the question is, how much will he play? Joe Alexander has the big reputation, former first-round pick of the NBA. Also played his college basketball at West Virginia. Robin Benzing, the Germany national team captain. You've seen him come out. He also played during the international window. I've been hugely impressed by Kyle Gibson, Ivan Bua, and Jason Rich. Jason Rich, the player of the year in Italy last season. So, you know, that is a lineup, really, that if they can somehow find their rhythm and get this thing moving in the right direction, you could see, especially with the likes of Duško Ivanović at the helm, this is a team that could really make an impact in this competition. So now I think you have to say, especially for Besiktas, it's go time. You either start putting it all together and letting everybody know that you're for real, or it's going to be a long second half of the season. Referees for tonight's game, lining up as usual, Dozaj Srdan from Croatia, Srdan Dozaj, excuse me, Sasha Mauricic and Andrei Sharapa from Belarus. And I'll tell you what, they do a great job, the referees, and a fascinating column. If you ever want to look at it on the championsleague.basketball website every week, there's an analysis of some of the plays that have been called, and they break it down and tell you whether or not it was a good play or a bad play. medi Bayreuth will start with Robertson, Stockton, Martin, Rovat, and Brooks. Raul Corno, the coach of medi Bayreuth, who does a great job of in-game management. And it seems like clearly with their recent results in this competition, they've kind of found their stride. And I'm really curious to see if they can keep moving from strength to strength following the international break. There's Rich taking a seat and Pressey standing there in front of him. And for Besiktas, it'll be Pressey, Veseloglu, Alexander, Gibson, and Bua in the starting five. A lot of big games this week in the Basketball Champions League, and we are bringing you one of them here. Another one, I think a lot of anticipation. You see Duško Ivanović, former player, longtime coach, also in Spain. He was at the helm of Baskonia. Used to coach in Switzerland, did a great job there. And now he's trying to bring some success to this Besiktas team. Of course, he coached Bosnia and Herzegovina as well at the Eurobasket in 2015. So talk about pedigree. Really, Ivanović, you would speak to anybody in Europe and you would say he would be one of the top coaches, one of the top play callers. Besiktas won the first game between these two teams back on October 9th, 78-70. And Robin Denzing had 20 points in that game. Gregor Rovat, the former Petro Olympia player, had 10 points and 8 assists for medi Bayreuth. But that was several weeks ago. And here we are in December. And it's going to be interesting to see which team perhaps has been able to step it up a notch and has a better shot of getting to the playoffs. Bayreuth riding a 7-game winning streak in all competitions. So not just in the Basketball Champions League, they are definitely in their rhythm. Winning against Ostend, Frankfurt in Germany, Olympia, Bremerhaven in Germany, Neptunus, Göttingen, and Mitteldeutscher. And they got to 100 points twice in that run. So this is a team that really is in fine fettle right now. Well, good evening, folks, here from Istanbul, if you're joining us. Right now, this is the Basketball Champions League, and it's the game between Besiktas and medi Bayreuth. Besiktas also in that form. We talked about the break for the international games. They also defeated Efes and Darüşşafaka in back-to-back games in Turkey before this game. So these are two teams that certainly look like they are rounding into form as we really hit the meat of this season, right before the Christmas break. Both these teams want to keep the winning momentum. Well, the drive and a basket already for medi Bayreuth. So 2-0. And that was Brooks with the basket. And Bua fouled out on the perimeter. Demon Brooks of Davidson Wildcats fame. And the turnover, and leads to an easy layup at the other end for Hrovat. And you can already see Duško Ivanović pacing the sidelines in front of that Besiktas bench. Turnovers, especially when they lead to points, are not going to make your coach happy. Ivan Bua being pushed out, little jump hook off the rim, and the rebound by Brooks. Inside, and Martin misses, and then Pressey hustles, gets the ball inbounds to Alexander. Now the dump down low, and foul has been called. This was the ball slipping out of Martin's hands, and then Bua being fouled before he got into the shooting motion. Well, you want to go to championsleague.basketball or load the Basketball Champions League app for all the latest news, information, features. And there's Jason Rich getting his team's first 2 points of the game. Excuse me, that was Kyle Gibson. How dare I? On the right baseline, Kyle Gibson has been outstanding for Besiktas, even during their tough times. I thought he had some really good games. And nice answer by Brooks. Gibson down low, and another miss. Hrovat bumped by Pressey. Well, Jason Rich, quite a weapon coming off the bench for Besiktas, but Kyle Gibson, there's Stockton, hits a three-pointer. And David Stockton. Made the team of the week once this season. There's Gibson again. And Martin with the rebound. Brooks whips the ball over. And the little runner. And the ball falls in. So Robertson, Cassius Robertson gets his first two. And the 11-2 start from medi Bayreuth forces Ivanović to call timeout. So already Brooks with 4 points, 3 for Stockton. He had that 3 from the left. 2 points apiece for Robertson and Gregor Orovat. Also in action today, Nymburk against Dijon. We talked about Prometheus and Ostend going up against each other. And looks like we're not going to have Adonis Thomas tonight. Missing for medi Bayreuth tonight, out hurt, so that's a blow for them. And nice jump shot by Ridge coming right off the bench. Gayak also in the game, wearing the face mask. Brooks turns in the lane and banks it in. He is playing with so much confidence. Rich again, guarded by Robertson, gets over to Pressey, who lets one fly. Rovat, his pass led Brooks a little too much. Now pressing the open floor where he excels, but great defense by Martin. Pressey just ran out of real estate, had to throw the ball and was lucky to keep possession. Gibson and Robertson with the board. Quick pass and it goes off of Brooks. So a couple of quick turnovers here now for medi Bayreuth, trying to ride the hot hand. Brooks. Pressey. Again, left his feet. Awkward play, turnover. We've seen Rich. And now somebody else has got to step up for Besiktas. They're struggling here at the start. Stockton looks up at the clock, puts it up from deep, and off the front of the iron. Now Gibson crosses midcourt. And Benzing turns. And good job from Benzing, but I'm not sure. I think the foul was before the shot. Benzing from the baseline. Now Stockton. Robertson. Gregor Horvat loses it a little. And Gibson just shakes his head. No, no, no. He was called for the foul. Doesn't. Let's see if there's a. Yeah, he got him with his left hand. That's what the referee saw. Bastian Dort in the game, inbounds the ball to Martin. Ball batted away by Rich. Now he's got it. Over to Gibson. Over to Benzing, wide open three. Game probably has a little extra significance for Benzing tonight, playing against a team from his country. Now Brooks denied as he got it inside, and Gaya comes down with the rebound. Benzing gets inside and puts it up and in. He will go to the line for a potential three-point play. medi Bayreuth have had that terrific start, but here they are now, just up by 5. Meisner comes into the game. So, three-point play is good indeed from Benzing. Now Dorrit goes to work against Rich. Seifert is checked in, number 11. He hands it off. Now he catches it on the low post. Now Stockton steps inside, and Seifert with another rebound. Whips it over to the corner. And Rovek gets it, gives it back to Meisner. He puts it up and in. And the drive was there from Gayek, but he did not finish. Stockton again, and he just lost it out of bounds. And the ball does indeed belong to medi Bayreuth, and that was why we had the reaction from Stockton. Watch, he was walking a tightrope there. So it'll be Dorrit inbounding it with 6 seconds on the shot clock. So Gregor Rovet gets inside, puts it up, and Meisner with the follow. And Besiktas able to save it in bounds. Gibson gets a little space. Seifert with the rebound. Rovat. Oh, just a beautiful drive. Took it on the dribble, right past Gibson. Guess Eloglu is going to check in at the next dead ball. Now Rich drives in, puts up a difficult reverse layup, and scores for Besiktas. Get it back to 6 here in the final minute and a half of the first quarter. Seifert turns, misses. Omar All, the point guard, hands it off to Gibson. So Besiktas starting this game cold, just 11 points. And we've got a minute to go in the opening quarter. Meisner, a little bit of a crazy shot. Now Gibson Bua turns, nowhere to go, but he is fouled by Seifert. Ravio comes into the game for Hrovat. So Bua, one of the biggest men on the court, is at the free throw line. And it's been that kind of start for Besiktas tonight. Bua's missed his 2 shots from the floor so far. And if he makes this, he'll finally get on the board, and he does. Dorrit now. Guarded by Ridge. And Veseloglu whistled for Besiktas' 3rd foul of the quarter. Little hesitation from Stockton. Nice little wraparound. And Seifert misses with the putback. And Meisner is whistled for the foul. So medi Bayreuth already over the limit, and that means free throws for Besiktas and Bua, who was just at the line where he made 1 of 2. First one is good by Bua. Pass, and Seifert scores the final couple of seconds. Al is going to put one up, but short. So medi Bayreuth sneak in and get a basket right at the end of the quarter. 19-13, medi Bayreuth on top of Besiktas at the end of 1. So Besiktas 5 of 10 from the floor, but they've missed all 5 of their 3-pointers, and also they're 3 of 5 at the line. medi Bayreuth 8 of 17 inside the arc, and 1 of 3 from long range. They haven't attempted a free throw yet. Besiktas missing some open shots, and also a couple of turnovers, creating opportunities for this medi Bayreuth team, which had a great start with Brooks. And here was one of the turnovers that led to a fast break basket. This is the first game of the day, regular season game day 8. There'll be 16 games as usual on game day 8. 32 teams in the regular season of the Basketball Champions League. Remember, we had 3 qualifying rounds which is the route that a lot of other teams had to take. Some of them made it. The question is, now that we're in the regular season, which of the teams in these 4-18 groups are going to be in the top 4 to advance to the postseason? Well, quickly, starting at this second quarter here, is Bua taking the pass and scoring down low. Robertson over to Dorrit, now down low to Seifert. Seifert turns and gets that sweeping hook shot to work. Besiktas drives in and scores with a little runner. All called for a push on Bastian Dorrit. Watch this, right? Well, it wasn't so much a push as he just kind of reached in, wasn't moving his feet enough. Reached in with his right hand and caught Bastian Dorrit in the midsection. And Dorrit's pass telegraphed, and now an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Brooks as he tried to stop the fast break. So excellent play. We've seen Besiktas already. His defensive ability in this competition the last few years, and here he is now getting an opportunity, 2 free throws and possession. Besiktas has played for Turkey's national team during the World Cup qualifiers. He played at the Eurobasket last year. And just like that, he has cut that deficit to just 2 points. Of course, Turkey's national team and Germany's national team have qualified for the World Cup already, and that's Robin Benzing with a long 3. He's tied it up. So Besiktas landing the early blows here in the second quarter. Great D. Now Rich hands it off, and Bua hustles down the court, and it's Besiktas on top. So medi Bayreuth calls timeout, and Besiktas being sparked by Besiktas.
Same with screen, you gotta walk him in and then sprint. They're overpowering us right now, and that's why I get all the layups.
That was the finish from Bua.
Let's set up press offense.
Look at the free throws. 5 of 7 for Besiktas.
Let's go 4 down. 4 down here.
No attempts yet from medi Bayreuth.
The screen. All right, let's go.
Besiktas had played in the World Cup qualifiers and the Eurobasket. In fact, he only played at the Eurobasket. He hasn't played so far. Turkey have 2 games left in the World Cup qualifiers. They've already qualified for the World Cup, but he has not played in the World Cup qualifiers. Robertson dribbles between his legs. Revio over to Dorrit for three. And what? Benzing didn't come down with the ball. It kind of fumbled into the hands of Seifert, and he put it up and in for medi Bayreuth to tie it back up. Now Jason Rich turns and scores. Revio back over to Brooks. And his pass goes off the hands of Robertson. Good defense by Rich in that corner. Benzing in the paint, puts it up and in. Benzing having himself a nice game already for Besiktas. Had the three-point play. Revio over to Dorrit, who gets it off just in time, doesn't hit the rim. So that'll be Besiktas basketball. So medi Bayreuth just kind of grinding to a halt here offensively, and corner is going to make some changes. He's going to bring in Stockton for Dorrit at the point. Benzing, meanwhile, has 9 points to lead all scores. And remember, he had the big first game between these two teams that Besiktas won in Germany. Rich gets it back from Pressey. He turns on the baseline. Bua with the rebound, and he takes the contact. So Ivan Bua goes to the line. Hassan Martin's going to come back into the game, and both Brooks and Seifert go out. Meisner is back in, and Gregor Horvat comes back in for medi Bayreuth. And Bua off target with the first attempt. So Brooks goes out of the game. It was his third foul. So really, Corner had no option but to get him out. And Bua looked like the ball was going down, and it popped out. So Besiktas come away with nothing down on that trip. Robertson bounced past to Martin. Stockton pulls up, and the ball chased. The ball goes out of bounds off of Besiktas. And that's a tough one to give away because you've got position. Now Martin backs up Bua. Nowhere to go. And Robertson misses everything. And this happens. Teams hit a funk sometimes and just can't seem to get anything going offensively. And that is the case right now for medi Bayreuth. This has not been a good advertisement for three-point shooting for either team. Just one make. That was Stockton early in the contest. And the drive from Rich. Meisner did a great job of hitting the boards that time and bringing the rebound down. Here's Stockton again, takes the bump from Rich. put the ball on the deck and go to the basket, good things happen. And Stockton, the son of the legendary John Stockton, goes to the free throw line. And David Stockton makes the first. He seems to really be coming into his own in Europe this summer, or this season. Been playing some good basketball. He did make the team of the week once already this season in the Basketball Champions League. And the 2 free throws reduce the arrears to just 2 points. Now Rich takes a seat and Kyle Gibson is back into the contest. Benzing off the back of the rim. Meissner's doing a good job on the boards. Foul called on Benzing. So Benzing takes a seat. And three-pointer is good from Gregor Hrovat. Chalk up the assist to Stockton. Now Pressey. Dubois. And Meissner, yet another rebound for him. Martin loses it. Tough pass to catch. Phil Pressey drives in, gets blocked by Meissner. Yudisly's in the game, by the way, number 19 for Besiktas. And Meissner, yet another rebound. He's going to be in double digits tonight at this rate. See the field goal percentages for both teams. Meissner with 6 rebounds already to go with his 2 points. And the jump shot is good from Martin. And medi Bayreuth had trailed, and now they're back in front by 3. Gibson back to Yildisley. Yildisley backs his man up, goes hard, and I think it was Robertson got a hand on the shot. Stockton with a mazy run, passes back out to Meissner, who goes into Martin. And Martin, a little short, and Veseloglu with the rebound. Now Pressey. And the jump shot is good for Pressey. When we talk about Stockton being the son of a great player, so is Pressey. And the ball turned over to Besiktas. Good job from Pressey. So his dad was Paul Pressey, amazing player. You probably remember in his day playing, having a long career in the NBA with Milwaukee, San Antonio, Golden State. There's the pass, and Gayak goes up for the one-handed jam. The masked man puts Besiktas back in front.
Simple how it is. You gotta get over that screen. If you can't get over the screen, you cannot play it. Simple as that. Get over the fucking screen. Now, hey, press offense. We got press offense. We go 5 down. 5 down, 4-man option. Yep, so screen in. Lucas, you get open. Try to get him as deep as possible. All right? Get him as deep as possible and go from there. All right? Ande, After that possession, you sub in. I don't need a third foul here. You gotta be smart.
Benzing leading the way with 9 points for Besiktas.
Let's finish strong. Finish the half strong. Let's go.
Such great balance, I think, in the Basketball Champions League this season. And, you know, you've got a team, medi Bayreuth, who lost the first encounter, have come on the road now and have really, you know, they lost the first encounter with Besiktas, but now here they are traveling to Istanbul and giving Besiktas a good run for their money. But Besiktas, you can hear the frustration in Raul Corner's voice there. Besiktas leading it by 2, and Gayic called for the foul. Pass down low, and almost a steal, and it is a steal, a turnover. Dorrit, and it's going to be a three-point attempt from, I think it was Bravio. Now Veseloglu has it. Kyle Gibson, he's in his range. Nope, a little bit short. Both teams missing some open looks right now. And Gayic, great defense, denies Hassan Martin the ball, takes it away, and then draws the foul from the big fella. So Gayic making an impact defensively. Look at this, just terrific. Terrific defense in that low post. And with that, Hassan Martin was also called for an unsportsmanlike foul because he was not playing the ball. So the second time an unsportsmanlike foul has been called tonight. The first one was on Damon Brooks. That's also his third foul. Well, they're going to check and see if it's an unsportsmanlike. So frustrating sequence. Referees want to make sure that it was indeed an unsportsmanlike. Raw Corner has an exchange there with Hassan Martin and Gayic. Did a whale of a job when you consider not only did he play great defense, but he was able to draw an unsportsmanlike foul. So it's 2 shots and possession. Final minute, shot clock winding down. And there was Gayic once again doing the dirty work, crashing the offensive boards and getting fouled. Might have gotten away with a push on Seifert. So Meisner ends up picking up the foul. time Gate misses the first. Second one is good. And now the turnover. Again, Pressy 3-on-1 break and driving in and scoring was for Besiktas, number 19, Yıldızlı. Seifert gets the offensive rebound, but the putback was quick. And Besiktas have a chance to have their biggest, to stretch what is already their biggest lead of the game even further. Only about a second differential in the game clock and the shot clock. Three-point attempt from Gayak, and the rebound. They've got just enough time to launch one. Meisner, though, is too hard. So a disappointing conclusion for that team, medi Bayreuth. Whereas for Besiktas, things starting to look a little rosier. They're up 37-30 at halftime. So just 1-3 for Besiktas, 2 for medi Bayreuth. Look at the big difference, really. A lot more free throws for Besiktas. They've made some of them, they've made 8 of them. And just overall being dominated really on the boards by medi Bayreuth, but Besiktas still have that 37-30 lead. And the big problem for medi Bayreuth at this stage has been turnovers with 12. Benzing with 9 points. Bua has the 5 rebounds. Gibson the 3 assists. Rovat has the 7 points. Meisner now with 9 rebounds. And Veseloglu again has the 2 steals. And you know, he might not be scoring, but you got to contribute in some way. So that's how he's doing it. And those are the leading scorers. Brooks and Seifert also with 6 points for medi Bayreuth. So how important are those turnovers for Besiktas? Well, remember, they've forced the double-digit turnovers from medi Bayreuth and have turned those into 13 points. So medi Bayreuth have really hurt themselves in that department, including with that pass down low where Gayak denied Hassan Martin the ball. He stole the ball and was then fouled against sportsmanlike. So as you look at the first half highlights, I'll give you a break and we'll be right back before the start of the second half. It's Besiktas Sompo Japan on top, 37-30 over medi Bayreuth. 37-30, it is Besiktas on top of medi Bayreuth here in this Basketball Champions League Group D encounter. Remember, medi Bayreuth came into this game in 4th place. Besiktas with the same record at 5th place, so they are right there together. So it stands to reason that after this game, if both of them came in at 3 and 4, Besiktas wins this game, they will obviously leapfrog medi Bayreuth. Neptunus Klaipėda also 3 and 4 in Group D. And SIG Strasbourg are 4 and 3. So it's really a tight group. But boy, there's some great teams in Group D when you think about it. As you look at David Stockton over there, you figure he's going to have to play well for this medi Bayreuth team to win tonight. And Veseloglu has been pretty tough over there on the bench, as well as Phil Pressey. Some good teams in this group, including the only unbeaten team in the Basketball Champions League, Segafredo Virtus Bologna, one of the most famous clubs in European basketball history. They are at 7-0. Prometheus, one of the great surprises, really, of the great clubs to emerge in the past few seasons from Greece. They play wonderful basketball. They are at 5 and 2. Let's listen to Coach Corner.
And they make sure when he comes towards the two-man side, we have hammer action. All right, use drag screens on transition, but make sure we're spread out. Everybody has to be in his spot. All right, let's go fast. Let's go. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Don't shot. With 2 guys is yellow. 15 right. Okay? And with 17 we can switch. 11. No. We play 24. Okay? If you get problem foul. Okay? We go left and you play here, play strong. And low post you get problem foul.
Hadi guys, let's start. Let's go. Good start.
So we were able to listen in to the huddles here right before the start of the 3rd quarter. There's Stockton and Seifert making sure they're on the same page. Robertson. medi Bayreuth coming into this game clearly looking to get something going from deep. There's Corner. They came in just double checking their 3-point shooting on the season. They came in shooting 39% from deep, which isn't bad at all. Having hit 57 of 146 threes. So that's a department that you would expect to improve here, perhaps in the second half. Robertson kind of forced his way in there, tried to get to Seifert, goes off of him. And now Pressey, with that burst of speed, passes it back outside. Gayak. We saw what Gayak was able to do in the first half, but he misses from deep. Stockton over to Gregor Hrovat. Oh, kind of an over-the-shoulder pass. Goes out of bounds. Ivanovic fired up over there on the bench. Pacing in front of the bench, rather. Whereas a much more pensive look for Raul Corner. Pressey gets it to Gayak, puts it up and in. When you have a player like Pressey who can, he threatens you with his dribble, but he's always looking to pass. You go to the basket, you're going to be open. But Brooks, who started fast, comes out and hits medi Bayreuth's 3rd 3-pointer of the game to get it back to 6, the deficit. Pressey it's that burst of speed. And that time, that was the look that he gave to Gayak getting into the lane. And Pressy goes to the line but misses the free throw. Boy, it's been a hard show at the free throw line tonight for Besiktas. Pressy makes 1 of 2. So they are 9 of 15 now, 60%. They had dropped into the 50s with that first miss. Robertson, another 3. Well, that's the magic spot right there on the wing. They've hit 2 threes in the first 2 minutes here in the second half. Pressy again with that burst of speed. Wow. Talk about grease lightning. Robertson takes the contact, and Yildisley is whistled for the bump. Wonder why he was contesting that call. That's probably one of the easier calls any referee will ever have to make. Catches Robertson. Makes the first one. Robertson came into this game averaging 7.4 points per game and shooting 48% from three-point range. So certainly a player that can hurt you from deep. Oh, great defense from Hrovat. Wasn't able to control it. So 5 seconds on the shot clock. And Besiktas call the play. Hrovat will certainly gamble on defense. Gibson to Gayak again, who follows up the miss. Good job boxing out there from Demond Brooks. Brooks says, I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to make it. And ball goes back over to Besiktas. The drive, and Gibson misses now. The quick outlet to Hrovat. Physicality in the game picking up perhaps a little. Seifert has to exit. Looks like he's taking a knock on his hand. Watch. Oh, it was his right hand as he went up just to grab the ball. Obviously, it hit it in a funny way. Stockton. Oh, what a drive. Just did not have the finish, Stockton, but that was beautiful. And the ball will still be at this end. Boy, it looked a little unlucky that ball didn't go to Besiktas on the replay. Now Martin goes right at Gayak. Nice footwork. No finish. Veseloglu, and the ball goes over to medi Bayreuth. Taskaran also in the game right now, number 7 for Besiktas. He'll be guarding the inbound ball. Presley goes out. Good work from him. Omar all back in the game, number 4. Here's Gregor Hrovat. And this time, good defense from Besiktas. No, there's been a grab call, it appears. Whoa, looks like pretty good defense. Tough call on Besiktas as Stockton now goes out. And Bastian Toret comes back into the game. Oh, look at this beautiful pass. And Damon Brooks lays it up and in. Open pass to the basket. Now Omer All. Taskaran gets it to Bua. He's going to go at Martin. Benzing. Over to Omer All. Good! 3-pointer. And Gregor Hrovat with the runner. Nine points for Gregor Hrovat. So Brooks has 11 and Hrovat 9, leading the way for medi Bayreuth right now. And that was a foul called on Hrovat coming from behind. No, in fact, it wasn't a foul. That was All's 3-pointer. Not sure what the delay is. Well, Hrovat's basket at the other end cut the deficit to 3. They want to review. I don't know if they want to see how much time is on the clock or whose possession it should be. Okay, so I think they are calling the foul. No, they're not. That's a lengthy delay of about 5 minutes. And let's see if they registered a foul. I didn't see one. Anyway, the ball inbounded, and then turning was Boy! He puts it up and in as we get it going again. Jordan to Robertson. Oh, tough make from Robertson. Tascaran with the foul. Looked like he maybe had run out of real estate, but he was able to get it up. And look at Bua here. He had some trouble there. Rovat almost reached in there and knocked the ball away. And a three-point play is the answer from Robertson, who's having himself a nice game. 10 points. Also perfect at the line now, 3 of 3. Benzing drives in, denied. Rovat with the rebound, he's gonna run. He looks up the floor, and then the ball knocked out of bounds by Besiloglu. Constant menace defensively. Meisner and took steps. A good aggressive play. Watch this. Three and a half minutes remaining in the third quarter. Nip and tuck. Besiloglu pulls up and drills the left-handed jumper. He's solid. You can see why Ufuk Saricha had him in that national team at that Eurobasket back in last year. Here he is with the reach and the steal, and they tried to pass. And then Robertson pulls up after the steal. He hits a three, and the foul will send him to the line. With Robertson raising his game big style. Besiloglu in too much of a rush there. If he'd held on to it. Look at this. Tascaran runs past, and the foul was called, and Robertson gets the 4-point play. Now, tough call on Tascaran. You want to get it. Yeah, it looked like he was getting his hand up just to bother the shooter. But with a good three-point shooter, that's what happens. You draw the attention from the D, and sometimes you get that foul while you're attempting the three. And now Bastian Dordet called for the foul on Omer Al. That is the first foul on medi Bayreuth in this quarter. Besiloglu. Oh, Rovat just stumbled, lost his footing, was able to get it to Hassan Martin, who's gonna dribble down low and be fouled by Bua. Good job from Omer Al, just holding his ground, but Rovat was able to get the ball to his teammate. So here he is now at the line. And medi Bayreuth have reclaimed the lead. Look at the green Santa Claus hat wearing medi Bayreuth fans. Perhaps this would be an early Christmas present for them if medi Bayreuth can get a road win. And Martin makes both and takes it up to a 2-point lead. So good work from Rovat. And now Ravio back in the game for medi Bayreuth. And Besiloglu. That's Martin. Collects the ball off his miss, but then he turns it over. I'll tell you, Veseloglu just doesn't give up on the ball, does he? He's always lurking somewhere near the basketball. You gotta not fall asleep on him. The turn from Bua. And they dodged a bullet. Did medi Bayreuth on that. Veseloglu with 4 steals now. Here's Robertson again, takes the 3, and he's hit by Kyle Gibson. And again, a very, very close call there. And Gibson, I know Duško Ivanović is telling those guys, you have to get out and guard the three-point shooters. And it just goes to show how difficult it is against a good shooter. You want to get the hand in the face. And sometimes the referee, if he sees minimal contact, if any at all, that time Robertson misses the second free throw. Look at Ivanović. Boy, he has walked all the way underneath the basket, and the referee's going to go tell him to sit down. Oh, gosh. It looks like Ivanović is in perpetual agony during games. He lives and breathes every second of every possession. So Robertson makes 2 out of 3. Veseloglu takes a seat. And Robertson has been the man in this third quarter. He's now got 16 points to lead medi Bayreuth in scoring. And the turnover gives it back to medi Bayreuth. Dordt. Oh, beautiful pass, and Robertson. They weren't going to give him a 3, and he just went right to the basket. 18 points now for Robertson. Rich comes down and hits a big 3 to stop the bleeding, to get it back to a 3-point deficit. Quick pass to Seifert. And the 3 is good from Ravio. Well, we knew the 3s would eventually fall for medi Bayreuth, and have they ever in this third quarter. Medi Bayreuth now 6 of 14, and the foul has been called. The charge on Bua. Bua looks at his fellow Croatian Dozaj to explain what he saw, but well, Ashton Dordt, 7 seconds differential in the game clock and shot clock. Robertson over to Ravio. What a response from medi Bayreuth in this third quarter. And this time a foul called on Seifert. So he had his both hands wrapped around him, and now Rich called for the foul. Excuse me, Seifert called for the foul on Rich, and there will be 3 free throws coming for Jason Rich. So a couple of quick fouls on Seifert. Wow. Jason Rich misses badly on the first one. Can you believe it? He gets fouled from behind the arc, and now he has missed his first 2 attempts. And you're talking about a very good shooter here, Jason Rich, who makes 1 of 3. So Robertson now has it. Just enough time to launch one. He needs to put it up. He does. Oh, he hits it! A 3 right at the buzzer. Cassius Robertson has owned the 3rd quarter. I think they will probably look at that to see if indeed he beat the clock. (58-53), medi Bayreuth on top. No, he did not get that shot off in time. Wait, let's have a look again. Not that angle. So it's 58-53. See, 7 of 15 now for medi Bayreuth from 3-point range. So 4th quarter action underway here in Istanbul, where the city where East meets West. And the pass down low, and Gayek comes right out. And maybe we're gonna have a repeat of the 2nd quarter when Besiktas owned that one, just like medi Bayreuth just owned the 3rd quarter. That's to Dorrit. And now an offensive foul called on Martin. That's number 4. They got into it a little bit there with Robin Denzing. Veseloglu from the left, and it's that man again. We've got a tie game. Dorrit, beautiful pass from Dorrit. Oh, what a play. And Cypher scores and will go to the line. Well, that's a big play right there when you consider Besiktas had just come back. And now medi Bayreuth back up by 4. Rich, he's starting to heat up. That's 2. Robertson again, and fouled by Rich. Robertson is so dangerous. I mean, you know he can hit the 3. and he's quick enough to blow right past you, and Rich was called for the foul at his left hand on his back. And Robertson sinks the first one. And the second one is good as well. And the foul called. Why does it not surprise me that Cassius Robertson is a Canadian? The Canadians are everywhere. They've got so many players in Europe, and Robertson looks like the real deal, doesn't he? Here's Rich, though. Another three for him. 63-62. Ball falls kindly to Seifert, and then he follows up his miss. Pressey for three, and Gayak, great position, gets the foul from behind on Seifert. Seifert had position initially. He bumped him, but then he didn't box him out completely. Gayak, as we've seen, knows how to get around his man. Pressey, good! Three-pointer. And it's Besiktas that have knotted it at 65. A couple of former Missouri Tigers doing the business. Robertson for medi Bayreuth and Pressey for Besiktas. Pressey with the reach here on Stockton. A little bit of a hand check. Ivanovic saying Stockton was using his arm illegally there. Besiktas once again, remember he's been a real terror defensively tonight. Besiktas with 4 steals. Game high in that department. Now Brooks from three, no good. Good hustle from Seifert, but not able to save it in bounds to his teammates. Instead, it's Pressey, who perhaps would have been better to slow it up. And now Benzing. And I could be wrong, but it looked like that was Benzing. A little bit frustrated. Oh, well, maybe Benzing frustrated with that Pressey tried to go all the way, but it looked like he might have been fouled. Nevertheless, Stockton has it, guarded by Pressey. And now an offensive foul. I think that's number 4 on Brooks. So the foul trouble mounting here on the bigs. Nope, that was on Hrovat. And inside, and Rich was going up for the dunk. And he was fouled. So Jason Rich fouled from behind by Robertson, who thought he had all ball. Anytime you're trying to block the ball from behind, you have to think it gets inside the referee's head that you've committed the foul. Boy, Rich is having a nightmare at the free throw line all of a sudden. 3 misses for him, 4. He has missed 4 of his 5 free throws tonight. And he's an 80% shooter at the free throw line on the season. Nice spin by Brooks. And he's upset with himself because he didn't score. He knows he probably should have had this basket. Rich called for the foul. Brooks makes the first one. Jason Rich now with 3 fouls. Veseloglu has 3 fouls for Besiktas. And that is the foul trouble for them. But for medi Bayreuth, it's worse. It's 3 for Brooks, 3 for Stockton, 4 for Hassan Martin. Benzing puts it on the deck, takes the contact, and almost had a 3-point play opportunity. He knew the contact was there, so he made sure to put it up. And he almost made it. So here he is at the line. Benzing started well in that first quarter. It's been quiet, but now perhaps sensing the time to step up. It's been Jason Rich who's been carrying the load. Robertson. Now down low to Seifert. And Gayick that time committed the foul, so Seifert goes to the line. Both teams in the bonus here. A very long time in this game, 5.5 minutes remaining, so the free throw line definitely will be coming into play. And remember, Besiktas have had their struggles at the line tonight. Besiktas shooting 54.55%, 12 to 22. medi Bayreuth, meanwhile, 15 of 16, now 16 of 17. And Seifert has been pretty good himself. His 2 makes, that's good. Robertson is 8 of 9. So Seifert, his latest contribution. Now he goes back to the bench, and Hassan Martin with his 4 fouls comes back into the contest. And the dump down low, the foul called, so Veseloglu, who is posting up, catches Robertson. Well, we'll have to watch that matchup. That could be the main concern with having Robertson out there. But the only thing is, this Besiktas team just has not shot the ball well from the free throw line tonight. It's been a horror show. They're now 12 of 23, 13 of 24. And it's a 1-point game, 54% from the line. And now Stockton called for palming the ball, for carrying it. Yep, good call. Dozai was right on top of it. The Croatian referee. Again, they're trying to post up Robertson. Now Pressey shakes and bakes. Oh, he gets rejected by Hassan Martin. He had an opening. It looked like he was going to have a layup, and then Martin came out of nowhere and said, "Not." in my house, Mr. Pressey. Seven seconds on the shot clock. We're past the midpoint of this fourth quarter. Benzing, oh, he's money. Benzing raising his game now. Besiktas 70, medi Bayreuth 69. Benzing with those 13 points. Meisner, not sure that came in the flow of the offense, but Hassan Martin reached in, and now Jason Rich reaches in and commits the foul. Great play by Hassan Martin. Rich is like, all ball, and then he, on purpose, wrapped me up, so you'd call the foul. Cagey play there from Provat, who takes advantage at the free throw line. So now Rich has 4 fouls. Well, we said that the free throw line is going to come into play here a lot, and it sure has been the case here. medi Bayreuth on top 71-70. Might want to sit back and prepare to stay for a while. I've got a feeling we're gonna see a lot of free throws. Besiktas want to talk things over. Well, pretty even, isn't it? From three-point range, from inside the arc. Now, medi Bayreuth weren't getting anything going to the free throw line in the first half, but in the second half, it's been a different story.
You'll be on the weak side of the action. All right, so looking up, look for high-low.
They're now 19 of 20.
So
Look at Robertson.
But you got to use the screen well. If you don't get anything, we can go for a rescreen. Okay. Get a stop right.
The man from the north of the border.
Take care of the tuck-in. Let's go. Finish this strong. Hey, team, 1, 2, 3.
Played his college basketball at Canisius, then Missouri. He transferred to, now 24 years of age, and making a name for himself here in the Basketball Champions League tonight. Robertson's previous high was 12 points in a game against Sega Fredo Virtus Bologna. He also had 11 against Philo Ostend. So he is having his best game of the season. And Presley drives in, denied. Hassan Martin again going up, that time with both hands. Provat. Here's Stockton wide open. Good! Another three-pointer for medi Bayreuth. (74-70). Stockton with 5 points. Rich falls down. And fortunately for Besiktas, Martin was out of bounds. 3:46 to go. Think about that. Pressey was, I'm not sure you can even give Martin a block on that because Pressey had already lost control of the ball. In fact, he did get a block. So Rich misses from deep, and Robertson with the rebound. Here's Robertson for three. Oh, he banked it in. The bank is open in Istanbul, folks, and it's nighttime. Robertson is feeling it. 7-point lead for the visitors. And now the steal, almost. Meisner doing a good job getting his hands up. 11 on the shot clock. Alarm bells starting to ring here across town in the city where east meets west on the Bosphorus. Besiktas in trouble. Rich. Bounce pass to Boa. Meisner with another rebound. He's got double digits in boards now. 2 points, but I believe it's now 11 rebounds. Stockton again. And now Rich. And 2 free throws coming. I think Hassan Martin has been called for a foul. And he had played well since returning to the game. So that's a loss for medi Bayreuth with 2.5 minutes. I think he's fouled out. Yeah, it is. So that's 5 fouls for him. Well, good night's work for Martin. 4 points, 4 rebounds. Certainly doesn't have a pretty stat line. And Jason Rich gets the first one to go. You know, Besiktas, their own worst enemy tonight, if they had made their free throws, they would be up by a lot. But they've missed 11 free throws tonight. Well, they wouldn't be up by a lot, but they'd be up. Still some work to do for medi Bayreuth. Stockton. Now Robertson, shaking and baking, puts it up from deep. Another one! He is absolutely on fire tonight. Four of 5 from three-point range. And now the turnover. Gives it back over, and Robertson again, he doesn't hesitate. Goodness me! Somebody call the fire department. We've got a blaze in here, and it goes by the name of Cassius Robertson. 5 of 6 from three-point range. There was absolutely no hesitation when he caught the ball that time. He knew it was going up. Robertson at plus 27 efficiency, 8 of 9 at the charity stripe, 8 of 9 from the floor, and 5 of 6 from three-point range. And boy, is he playing with confidence.
So every possession.
medi Bayreuth even winning the battle in the paint. But look at Robertson. He's just feeling it. This happens. He even banked that one in. I'm not sure he called the glass, but he stepped up that time. And now watch this one. No hesitation. Once again, it's been a familiar sight, and it's not been one that Besiktas fans had wanted to see tonight. Incredibly, he's stretched their lead to its biggest, 83-72. And great defense by Hrovat. And Jason Rich complained, and they're going to look at the video to see whose ball that should be. Well, it's a tough one. It either went off Seifert or Rich. But this is why you have this video replay system, because you want to make sure you get it right. I don't even know who they're going to. They're going to say medi Bayreuth ball. Well, they did the right thing. They went to check. Here it is again. The only thing I would say about that was maybe Rich was unlucky a foul wasn't called on Gregor Hrovat, because it looked like he might have raked him on the arm a little bit. Stockton gets it across midcourt, and Hrovat goes in, scores with a reverse. incredible how this game has opened up. And Besiktas are going to be stunned after this. Benzing over to Rich. And how, my oh my, has this thing gotten out of hand for the home team? Robertson. Well, that's what's happened. Robertson happened. Seyfried puts it up and in. Andreas Seyfried puts it in. And it is well and truly a blowout, folks. And we're talking about a game that was nip and tuck for the majority of the contest. And now Brooks caught. But Brooks, you can't complain, man. You're up 16. Look at this. Now Meisner comes back in, Mr. Rebound. Well, he won't care about fouling out as long as they get the win. And Benzing makes the first. 59.9 seconds remaining. 15-point lead. If he makes this, it's 14. The Besiktas need to get a steal. They'd at least like to win the head-to-head, have the better goal differential, but even that now looks not possible. Look at Robertson, just drives in. He says, I'm going for a big number. He puts it up again. Robertson making headlines tonight. Three-pointer from Rich. And Hrovat gets it, and now they'll just walk it up the floor. Look at that, 31 points for Robertson tonight. Now he's bumped. I mean, he has been almost Kevin Punter-like tonight. He has grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. Hrovat drives in, misses, battle for the board, goes out of bounds. So they'll put 14 on the shot clock. Remember, his previous high was 12 points in the Basketball Champions League. And Robertson now has 31. Here he is again. He wants some more. Hrovat from deep. Now Veseloglu. I mean, this game it was like a lot of air in the balloon, and all of a sudden Robertson just went out and took a pin and popped it. He's killed it. 2.6 seconds remaining. Looks like dinner's on Robertson tonight. You have a big game like that, you got to treat your teammates. Benzing is not even going to attempt the three. So that's how it finishes. Disappointing night for Besiktas, but what a win for medi Bayreuth, who have now reeled off 4 wins in a row in the Basketball Champions League, and they are flying. They came in 4th place with the same record as Besiktas. They win it 90-74. All smiles in the huddle there for medi Bayreuth. They had a tough second quarter, but other than that, they were the better team tonight, aided by some very poor free throw shooting from Besiktas. Had Besiktas but had some success at the line, they would have, perhaps had more confidence in their play, and maybe medi Bayreuth would have been up against it, but it was really crucial. And you can see in the end, 19 of 36 inside the arc, 11 of 23 from deep. We knew that they could hit the three-pointers, but boy, I don't think we quite expected them to throw in that many in the second half. And that 42-23 rebounding advantage as well is something else as you see Duško Ivanović. Well, I think that's him anyway. 19 turnovers for medi Bayreuth. They were able to overcome that. And 31 for Robertson, 17 for Rich. I think the turning point in the game, as you look at Meisner, was Jason Rich getting fouled while shooting the three, and he went to the line and missed his first 2 free throws. He made the third one, but it just felt like it wasn't going to happen for Besiktas after that. Veseloglu had the 4 steals. Seifert had the 16 points. Rovat, really annoying when he's on defense, had 13. Benzing had those 15 points as well for Besiktas, who could have climbed into the top 4 tonight, but they've blown that chance. And now it's medi Bayreuth who have solidified their standing in the top 4. So here's a look back at some of the second half plays. And Besiktas were right there. You can see 42-40. Rovat hit that runner. Bua never really got it going. Veseloglu made some plays on both ends of the court to help Besiktas. And then Robertson started to feel it. You can see he scored on that drive. Rich hit that three-pointer. But really the headline maker is Robertson, and with this type of performance, you almost have to wonder if he might make the team of the week. He'll probably even get some MVP votes. Seifert played well. Hassan Martin got into foul trouble, and Seifert, the German international center, came in and made some plays. For example, there, picking that one up, scoring with his own putback off his own miss. Hassan Martin came out, and even though statistically didn't have a nice night, he did make some plays. Stockton hit that big three-pointer. But this was the guy that really took over the game. Robertson said, "I've had enough. We're just gonna go home. We're gonna have a happy flight back to Germany. I'm gonna bank this one in." I think you can look at him. You see, he says backboard there. And that was another of the threes. The Besiktas are gonna be seeing Robertson three-pointers in their sleep tonight. And Robertson was wheeling and dealing. Even handed one off to his teammate, Seifert, there, as he drew the defense. So that is it, folks. A very impressive win tonight. And medi Bayreuth, right now, are in 3rd place. Besiktas still down in 5th. SIG Strasbourg will be in action later on. And, well, another exciting game in the Basketball Champions League. Strasbourg will be at home to Petrol Olympia, Ljubljana. So that's it, folks. 90-74. Medi Bayreuth win it at Besiktas Sompo Japan here in the Basketball Champions League in Istanbul.